Hello and welcome back to the Dream Saga. My name is Cody, and hey, how's everybody doing? This week I wanted to talk about a new game in my collection, Overwatch. Overwatch just came out not too long ago. I would say within the last week or two was its full release. I know that there was a beta that everyone was kind of stoked about, and I just wanted to talk about my experience. I've had it for about 24 hours now, and I have had a whole lot of fun / frustration with this game. The first little bit, it's been out for not very long, and the people that are playing it have gotten really good, so I really suck at the game, which isn't their fault. They're just really good at the game. But when it comes down to it, it makes it really hard for myself to get used to certain things. Thankfully, there is, like humans versus AI, and there's also training that we can do to kind of get better at certain aspects of the character, so we're not getting just thrown in and screwed, which has happened quite a bit. I've played as a few different people. I tend to end up as like Mercy or one of the support classes. The big aspect there is I usually end up being one of those guys because healing is a lot easier because I can kind of take a step back and help out. Whereas and it also depends on the game mode. Now, if we're going and attacking and holding a spot from the other team, then yeah, I'm going to be a healer. Typically, that's just who I end up being. But if it is there's a game mode where you have to escort something to the other side of the map, and you have to be with it to do that. So, and it's a real low blow, and I'm really hoping that they either come up with a way to defend against it, which it's easy and not easy to defend against. But Bastion, who is basically a robot who can turn into a stationary turret. The thing is, you can hop up on the escort and become a stationary turret and just mow people down. Like, he is extremely overpowered, which in certain cases that works out really well, where you can just mow people down and keep the convoy moving, so to speak. But there's a lot of people out there that don't do that. They don't use that type of tactic to get the escort, car or whatever it is. There's a few different ones. There's like a flatbed with like a gauntlet on it. There's a truck. There's a few different things. But, that's where you kind of see the difference. Certain people, there's groups. Like, you have to be a team to do this. You have to be a part of something to get somewhere. You can't just go run and gun and win, because it can flip on you in a moment. This game truly reminds me a lot of Team Fortress 2, which I was a huge, huge fan of. I haven't played it in a long time, strictly because it is on a console it's on my PC. I'm not super familiar with a lot of the controls. I like playing with a controller. Now, not to say I don't have hundreds of hours into that game. I'm just saying I'm not as comfortable. Because I played the Orange Box, if anybody remembers, for the Xbox for when that came out. It had like Portal, Half-Life, and then like in the back was Team Fortress 2, and I played that a lot. That game was so fun because that was very team-based. You had certain people at certain, you had the heavy, you had the the medic, the builder, the construction guy, you had the sprinter, you had all these different classes, and I'm sorry I'm butchering it, but you had all these different classes that had their own place, and if you worked together, you could do that easily. You had the spy who could infiltrate, and kind of take over and all that fun stuff. So there was quite a bit that you could do in that game. And now this one kind of mirrors that in a way, but it's also very Blizzard-y in its, depth. Because right away, it's very positive. The gameplay is very positive. There's no kill to death ratio. It's just death. There is a death ratio, that's there, but it's never up front. At the end of it, it's oh, this person got so many kills. They're better than you, and they get better stuff. That kind of thing. It's very positive. There's the player of the game, or the best player there, and it's a little funky right now. But in the end, you get something regardless. If you level up, you can get a loot crate, which the only thing it gives you is add-ons for a character, but not weapons, not stat boosters. This is very much like that same character, no matter what skin he has, no matter, what spray paint or what voice, thing, because there's different voices that you can actually unlock, so he'll say different things throughout the map. But there is no stat boosting, which in every other game out there that's kind of like this, it's stat boosting. One comes to mind that I played a lot was Destiny. If somebody had a better gun, or, was able to get a team together and, do that raid a million times and get that super secret gun, they could conquer Crucible. Or if they were, higher level, when Iron Banner comes around, which is the gear actually matters. And so people who have had a chance to do challenges and all this other stuff would just destroy anybody else. And obviously they're going to be a much better player, so they know the game a lot better. But that's where this comes in, where, your knowledge of the game works to your advantage, but that's it. There is no, special gun, there's no armor, there's no, packs that you can buy or anything like that. It's not a pay-to-win game. It is strictly a play it. Anything that Blizzard releases down the line will have, that game will have it all. It's not going to be like you have to pay so and such for the DLC, the expansion pack. Star Wars Battlefront. If you don't buy the expansion, you can't play the new stuff. It's pretty much every game on the market right now has some sort of payable expansion DLC. And Blizzard's not one that they don't do that, but it's basically just an addition to that big game. They built World of Warcraft as a huge MMORPG. The massive part there is when they release an expansion, it is a whole other world, a whole nother improvement on this. Or when the Burning Crusade came out, that was there was new race of people that you could play, new starting areas, new this, new that, new dungeons. There was a whole lot of extra game there, and I think that's where a lot of this other expansion stuff doesn't. It's new maps and new guns and things like that, but it's not a whole lot that they couldn't have just given to the people who spent all that money for the game. I believe Battlefield does that, where you buy the game and you get they just have continued to update it, update, and you get all this stuff for free. The other game that kind of did that, where it's just we're just going to give you everything, you already paid for the game, was, and it's no longer around, but it was City of Heroes, which was my first MMO. That game was so fun. It really sucks that it went under. It sucks. I really did like that game. But, they didn't charge for any of their expansions. I mean, you had City of Heroes, City of Villains, and Island of Rogues, which I never played. I got City of Villains, and I played it a lot, I played City of Heroes a whole heck of a lot. That was a monthly paid subscription. And I guess that's where that free expansion came from. you got the new stuff for free no matter what. And so when you first started playing the game, when the game first came out, there was a lot there. But then, leveling up and getting to that peak, and then they just kept releasing stuff. I think there was like, a little bit under 20 updates to that game that just were all free. And obviously you're paying monthly for it, which is nice because there's other games like World of Warcraft that you're paying monthly and you still have to, pay for the expansion. So you're paying for the game and the content, but then you're also paying to access that stuff, which a lot of people aren't super happy with. And that's kind of where this is kind of nice. You're still paying one for the internet, which you need to play any of this stuff. But when it comes down to it, you're also paying for either, Xbox Gold or Xbox Live Gold. You're paying for the PlayStation Plus to gain online. I'm not totally sure if it's required in this game. I know there's quite a few games that it is required to have PlayStation Plus or Gold. I know on Xbox you need it anyway. The few moments I had in Xbox 360 without Xbox Live, I had the silver, you're online, but you can't do anything. I couldn't even play Netflix because you needed an Xbox Live subscription. Whereas PlayStation, up until the PlayStation 4, you didn't need the PlayStation Plus to get online. There are some games I think are much more server heavy, and that's why they require it. But then they also give you discounts and bonuses and a bunch of stuff that typically you wouldn't see, elsewhere, which is kind of nice. They give you some incentive to be hey, we're sorry that you have to pay for this, or hey, we really want you to pay for this, here's some extra stuff. So you get discounts, and every once in a while there's free games that you get for 12 months. So it's not unlimited, but you do have quite a few months to play that game for free, which is quite nice. The other side of it would be, with Overwatch, this game has just a heck of a lot of potential to being just more than it can. I mean, if they continue to update it, give you bigger maps, better maps, new game modes. I just got on today, and the game mode that was, because there's 4 blocks that you can pick from. There is random match, AI versus human, or human versus AI, custom game, and then their that day's call out, this is what we want everyone to play. And that's kind of cool, which that kind of mixes with Left 4 Dead did that, where you'd actually have you could play offline, you could play online, you could play custom game, and you could also play that week's infection is what I believe they called it. And that was a round robin. It was a playlist of different styles of games. So the one of my favorites was 4 humans versus 4 tanks. Now, if you ever played Left 4 Dead, the tanks were scary as hell. They were just giant creatures that if they just slap you, you're pretty much dead. But it was 4 human-controlled tanks versus humans. So they can't touch you. So it was basically who could run the farthest. Could you get to the end? And your points are based off of the how far all 4 people got. That was one of my favorite games. There is rumors that they're releasing a 3rd one, or at least it's in development. I'm not totally sure. I have not looked it up. That was just something a friend had let me know. But if they release that for PlayStation 4, that's the only game I'm going to play. If it's good, that's all I'm going to play, because that was one of my favorite games. And so these games, and I guess to kind of round robin, it's very team-based, and I like that. I like being able to communicate with people, be hey, this is what I'm doing, hey, I'm over here, I need help. And that's where, I streamed a little bit of Overwatch. It's half an hour, and because I couldn't communicate with other people, because I couldn't talk to anybody else, it made the game that much harder. especially when I'm trying to be social on the stream, but then also, like, I need to communicate with my team, but I can't. And that's what really sucks. So I'm trying to get some people together that can stream with me with this kind of stuff. That would just be a lot more fun. I do have quite a few people who do play this game. I tried to get one of them in last night, but he was either like not able to log in, was playing, or like fell asleep. I don't know. But that's kind of where Overwatch is for me right now. I want to play it more. I'm going to stream it quite a bit. I think Fallout 4 will take kind of a back seat for right now. And I'm going to start playing a lot more Overwatch. Fallout's not done, not by a long shot. But I had been going for almost 10 episodes straight with no other variations in gameplay. And I missed Sunday and Tuesday uploading videos, and I really do apologize for that. I've had a lot going on. I will be taking a trip out to California for about 3 weeks, and so I'm going to be gone, so I have to try to create as much pre-recorded content as I can to kind of fill the void. I'm going to attempt to take everything I can with me. My iPad will definitely be with me, so I might be able to do some sort of podcast while I'm out there, just to keep everybody up to date. I do have it on my phone, so I mean, the audio quality might not be the greatest, but I can still at least do a podcast out there. I don't know if it'll be a vidcast, or if I do a vidcast, maybe I'll just cut the audio and upload it to Spreaker. Like I said, don't know yet. I did get a laptop. It's an older one, but it's strictly just for video editing. It's not supposed to be a powerhouse. I'm not going to game on it. I've got a gaming PC already. So that's kind of where the Dream Saga world is right now. These podcasts haven't been too incredibly long. There for a while I was going up, 40, 50 minutes. I had one over an hour. And truthfully, I don't know what people want, in length when it comes down to this. I guess if I'm talking about something exciting or something new, that will be something that they want to listen to. Just a kind of another quick update on some future videos. In the next day or two, I should have the Dreamcast restoration video up. Just a quick, I would say 5 to 10 minute video on just like how to quickly take it apart, what I use to clean it, and little tips and tricks on that kind of stuff. And so, because that's what I do, I take things apart, I clean them, I restore them. So that's where I'm at right now. That video should be going up soon. I should have some more streaming tonight, so definitely check that out. The YouTube site has changed a little bit. Hopefully everything is working on that side. YouTube was not working for me at all last night when I was trying to stream as well, because it kept saying I was offline on YouTube, but I wasn't. Like, I'd go to YouTube Gaming, the app on my phone, everything was working fine, but it was strictly on my laptop that it just did not show. Sorry, almost yawned there. It did not show that I was online, and it kept going to a different thing. It was like, oh, yep, you're streaming here. Do you want to click on that? It would still say I was offline. So it was really strange. I don't know if that was just like my browser not working correctly, YouTube not working correctly, but that's kind of the difficulties I've been having. A lot of it is like, I want to do all this stuff, but then I run into roadblocks that kind of slow me down, and it's weird. The world of YouTube is continuously changing. Years ago when I first started to try to throw things together on YouTube, I guess you can consider that on my personal channel. Now, it was completely different. Thankfully, being a YouTube partner, I get to upload things. I get to see a lot of the the analytics behind it all. But we'll see. We'll see how everything runs, how everything goes. We are working on it, or I'm working on it. I'm also trying to line up some pre-recorded like interviews and just a bunch of other little things. So I'm not going to try to drag this out any longer. My name is Cody. Thanks for talking to the Dream Saga, or thanks for letting me talk to you. Anyway, this was a little quick podcast for the week. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Overwatch. That is just a fantastic game. So you guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks for listening in. If you have any suggestions or anything like that, hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They're on the dreamsaga.com. There's a contact section, so you can put all your information in and your question, and I can do what I can with that. So please let me know. I'll be here. I'll be here in my super swaggy Dream Saga jersey. You know, very Kevin Smith, very, very large, very fat. Me, not Kevin Smith. You know. Anyway, I thank everybody for coming by. I will be here every week to handle your listening needs. This is Cody. Have a great day.